The truth about challenges between leadership and staff. This is Bob. Bob is the president and CEO of X Corp. Hi, Bob. This is Bob's team. Bob's team is critical to the success of X Corp, and Bob really appreciates all that his team does. Hi, team. Bob's team believes strongly in the mission of X Corp, and they work really hard to ensure X Corp's success. When Bob is with his team, it makes him very happy to work with such dedicated employees. But when Bob isn't around, bye, Bob. The truth is, some staff may not feel as content or fulfilled in their role, or may be frustrated with Bob's lack of support. Not all are unhappy, but many could be. Concerns like forever looming deadlines and packed schedules, to not feeling heard by leadership, and from ever-increasing productivity expectations with dwindling resources and support, to feelings of real or perceived retaliation or favoritism. When staff are feeling frustrated or not supported for one reason or another, they tend to share these issues with one another. This never directly resolves the concerns, but may instead create more anxiety among staff. Now you may be wondering, why don't staff simply share their concerns with leadership so they can respond accordingly and fix it? Well, on the overall organization chart, staff found closer to the bottom of the chart may feel like burdening Bob or other leaders with their concerns may cause what they see as unnecessary or unwelcome attention by leadership. In some cases, this can cause staff to feel like they have to weigh out the pros and cons of sharing their concerns. Staff begin processing whether or not these issues are worth the potential of extra scrutiny by leadership. For every issue expressed, staff may worry about being labeled not a team player or being told they just can't handle the work. Ultimately, the greatest concern for staff in sharing their frustrations in the role is losing their job altogether. And this very real staff experience might be too risky of a proposition for many. But what about Bob? How could Bob have allowed this to happen to the team that he holds so dear? I mean, look at this face. If only Bob knew about his team feeling deflated and unsupported, he would surely do something about it, wouldn't he? It's okay, Bob. We know that there could be lots of reasons why Bob hasn't addressed his staff's issues. Bob might be unaware that his staff feel this way, especially if they are too scared to share with leadership. He might be feeling overwhelmed by the amount of work and can't make staff support a priority right now. Bob might think other leadership staff are successfully tending to the problems. Maybe organizational capacity is the culprit. Or maybe he's nervous about opening that Pandora's box of staff concerns, as he may not even know where to begin to respond. Not so sure where the turkey comes in. For these and so many other reasons, Bob hasn't been able to acknowledge the challenges and provide the necessary supports his team needs to be successful. Bob may have the best of intentions in supporting his team with what he believes creates success among his staff, while his staff may have their own expectations around what supports they need to be successful. When best intentions fail to meet up with staff expectations, it causes a divide between leadership and staff that becomes harder and harder to bridge and meet in the middle. If left unchecked, this divide will only get wider and can negatively impact staff performance, productivity, and ultimately lack of fulfillment in the role. This becomes the culture of an organization. When these issues go unaddressed for that long, sometimes the only remedy left is considerable staff turnover or change in leadership. Bye, Bob. And this is where we come in. 16-Point Compass Consulting, through its Restorative Integrity Initiative, will engage both leadership and staff in meaningful and safe conversation about what's important to them and what they themselves need to truly be successful. Through our data-driven assessment and methodology, we will then create a list of recommendations meant to honor the needs of both staff and leadership moving forward. These recommendations will be followed with guided organizational action and continued implementation support from 16-Point Compass Consulting. This will in turn help to bring your team together and bridge the divide between leadership and staff so that everyone feels more heard, valued, respected, and fulfilled in the work, ultimately increasing productivity, staff morale, and positively impacting your bottom line and work culture. If you see any similarities between your company's current story and Bob's, there are two really important things that you can do. 1. Acknowledge that things could be better. You can't fix what you refuse to acknowledge is broken. And 2. Reach out to us so that we can help. We are 16-Point Compass Consulting, and rebuilding bridges with your communities through our Restorative Integrity Initiative is what we do. You can call us, email us, or check us out online. And remember, when your company may be feeling lost, let 16-Point Compass help you find your way. Bye, team.